We're going to do something that I don't think has been done enough during this pandemic, which is to hear directly from people who have either suffered from COVID themselves and are here to tell their stories, as well as people who have lost family members from COVID, as well as people who work in our hospitals, health professionals who are working with victims of COVID. So let me jump on to Melania Hawkins. And Melania is a nurse, and you have experienced COVID yourself. Is that right, Melania?
Yes, sir, I have. Yes. So I contracted COVID early April. I wasn't aware that I had it. I thought it was just, something, I had come down with a cold or something. For a couple of days, I recuperated actually, and I felt fine for about 4 days. And one day I was driving home from work, and approximately an hour, I went from 0 to 100. I barely made it in my front door. I suffered with COVID. It lasted for about 27 days before I was able to recoup and go back to work. I am still today, it's November the 17th, and I still have airspace lung disease. And I'm also suffering with some liver damage, and all a result of COVID.
Thank you for being a hero and for your service. So we have Christine and Jennifer, who are going to talk to us about losing their father to COVID.
We lost our dad September 2nd. He battled with COVID at Baltimore, Washington. We actually got a text message that said, Dad and I are in separate ambulances. We're headed to the hospital. We both have COVID. Within an hour of getting to the hospital, my dad was intubated. He suffered everything that you hear, the horror stories. It's not a conspiracy. It's not made up. It's the real deal. He had pulmonary embolisms in both lungs. He had COVID pneumonia on top of a secondary pneumonia.
So we just want people to be cautious, be safe, and be responsible this holiday season.
Take care of each other.
Take care of our community.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that story, because I know as I listen to this, I put myself in the shoes of the people who might be listening and understand that this is a real pandemic, but have decisions to make in the next week, 2 weeks, months about what they're going to do, where they're going to go, who they're going to interact with. And I truly believe that these stories are going to help people to make the right decisions. From Baltimore Washington Medical Center, we have Sarah Viola.
I think there may be a misperception out there that you survive critical illness, you get off the ventilator, and you're back to your normal life. And anyone who's been through it knows that's simply not the case. Often our patients spend weeks on the ventilator, and much of that time they're deeply sedated and are immobilized. And as you heard earlier, there aren't just physical challenges with that, but there's emotional and mental health challenges. And some of these physical and mental health challenges can last for months, if not a lifetime afterwards. So one of the things that pains me when I watch the news and I see the numbers go up and up and up is, of course, we all mourn the deaths and the losses of the people that we couldn't save. But I also think about the many, many more patients beyond that 200,000 some statistic that we see continue to climb. For every one of those deaths, there are many, many more who are forever altered, even though they've survived the illness.
We have now with us from Anne Arundel Medical Center, Dr. Barry Meisenberg. Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Good, thank you.
Talk to us about what you've been seeing in the hospitals and how you see all of this.
So first I want to express my thanks to the families who have spoken out tonight and to those who've been patients. And I think it's essential to do this because without this, then this is just watching numbers scroll by on the television or in the newspaper. We can get fixated on the numbers of infected or hospitalized or dead without realizing that behind every one of those numbers is a family who love that person. So you can lose sight of that if you just look at the numbers. So thank you all for doing that, and County Exec for inviting them. And so finally, I wanted to use this public forum to express my appreciation for the many, many employees of the county, for the employees of the health system, and actually for the employees of the grocery stores who continue to do their job every day, weighing their sense of duty above their own personal fears. And believe me, we all have personal fears, including people in my industry. And I would just point out that there's a famous line in one of Shakespeare's plays, The Merchant of Venice. It's often quoted out of context, but I'll quote it in context for you. All that glisters is not gold. Commonly said, all that glitters is not gold. So this pandemic has revealed to me the wisdom of that little proverb. And indeed, all that glitters is not gold. Some of what glitters is people, our people. And it's been one of the blessings of this pandemic is to see this gold shining through in the individuals that work for us in the county and in private industry to help us survive.